Hey guys, what's up? This is Stephanie. Welcome back to my channel. So in the video today, I'm going to be discussing scrubs. So what scrubs do I recommend? What are my favorite scrubs? As you can tell, I'm wearing Figs. And Figs is like a really huge brand. For those of you who work in healthcare, probably have seen a lot of nurses, PAs, etc., doctors, staff just in general with Figs. Scrubs are very, very popular. So I actually learned about them during PA school. I didn't know anything about scrubs until about Figs in general before I started PA school. So scrubs, I definitely do recommend Figs. Figs are definitely one of my favorite ones because they're very, very comfy. They're super stretchy. And then on top of that, you don't need to iron them. So that's one of the big things I like about these is that you don't need to iron them. They're super comfy. Some other scrubs, like you do need to iron them. And then especially during your clinical rotations, if you're doing a rotation, for example, in like surgery, right? And you're just exhausted. You come home, sometimes you get out late out of surgery. I know during that rotation, I lost like 10 pounds because I would be there sometimes from 6 a.m. to like 12 midnight. So the entire day, and we were doing surgeries back to back because my doctor was a workaholic. So we did a lot of surgeries. And so I know by the time I got home, I was dead. And so I would go to sleep, wake up the next morning, put on a pair of Figs. I didn't have to worry about ironing them or anything. And that's one of the things I like about these is that you really don't need to iron them and they still look good. And they look really good. They look very professional. I'm all about ensuring that when you're doing your clinical rotations, you're on your best behavior. And then on top of that, you are also ensuring that you look good. So you look professional. Your clothing is ironed, right? Your hair is kept nice. Your white coat is ironed. Your scrubs are clean. There's no dandruff or there's no cat hair on it. So everything's clean. It's all about appearance. It's because that's really gonna help you get a job if you want to in wherever you're rotating. And then it also just gives a good appearance to all your patients, right? Whenever you're seeing your patients, your appearance really says a lot about yourself. So I'm all about appearance, and that's why I'm all about ensuring that I get nice scrubs, and these look very professional and they look very nice. So I really like Figs. I really recommend Figs. That's actually one of my top ones. So the other one that I do recommend is Jaanu, is Jaanu. I bought pairs from them and I really like their scrubs. They're a little bit more softer also, like a little bit more silkier, a lot more stretchier. They're beautiful scrubs also. One of my favorite ones also. So I also recommend either Figs or Jaanu, Jaanu. They're both fantastic. One thing I do have to say is that they are a little pricey. So usually for the bottoms, expect to pay at least $40. And then usually for your tops, I expect to pay maybe like $30. So they are a little expensive compared to your other scrubs like Grey's Anatomy, for example. So they are more expensive both for Jaanu and Figs. But the good thing, like I said, for both of them, you don't need to iron them. They're super comfy, they're very stretchy, and they look really good. And I'm all about your presentation, not only as a physician assistant once you start working, but as a student during your clinical rotation. So I think it's really important that you invest in them, and that's what I did. I've invested in a bunch of scrubs. I have a lot of them. And when I started PA school, like my second year, I bought a bunch of scrubs and they were like different colors. And now that I have a job, like they only use the navy colors, so now I'm gonna have to go and buy navy color scrubs. And another thing for those of you who are like a little tight in regards to your money, right, which is the majority of us as students, right, I always buy them whenever they go on sale. So they always have sales, and I always ensure that whenever they go on sales, I buy them, Figs or Jaanu, and they tend to go on sale usually like the same time. So I always get them on sale and I make sure I bulk buy. So if you want to save money, I really recommend that. So look out for the sales. They just had a sale in May for the Nurses Week. So they had about 20% off for your Figs, and they also had, I don't remember, I think it was 20% off also for your Jaanu. So they always have discount. Look out for those discounts. Black Friday by far is one of the ones where they have really good discounts. And that's where I bought all my scrubs last time, was during Black Friday. So Black Friday, Nurses Week, look for certain holidays where they will have sales, because they will have sales and you can buy them a lot cheaper. And then another thing is that like Figs does offer a discount in regards to students. So you can actually just sign up with them, and then they'll just verify that you do have a student email, and you can get a discount with them. So that's another big thing, is that if you're a student, right, even like military, they'll offer discount. They will offer discounts. So either do that discount, but the discount's like 15% versus like the 20% that you can get off. So that's why I tend to wait for whenever they have these sales to buy either Figs or JANU. Another thing that I did want to discuss was scrubs for cadaver labs. So not all programs have cadaver labs. My program was one of those that had a cadaver lab, which I really enjoyed because you're able to actually see the tissue in front of you, right? And you're able to dissect and really practice surgical skills. So we were really blessed that we had a cadaver lab. But the thing about a cadaver lab is the chemicals that they use in the cadaver labs for the body to not decompose and just to ensure that the body's in good condition is very, very smelly. So the mistakes that I made is that, of course, I had like these really nice Grey's Anatomy scrubs, and I used them for the cadaver lab, and they stank. So I couldn't wear them to clinical rotations anymore because no matter how much I washed them, they smelled so bad. And the thing is, whenever we did cadaver lab, after cadaver lab, I always made sure I went home and showered, because you can smell someone that was in their scrubs after cadaver lab. Like if they were in the elevator and they were up and someone was just there from the cadaver lab, you're like, oh, that person was in the cadaver lab. Some of my classmates' cars even smelled like the cadaver lab. And so that's another thing that just to keep in mind, right, is that if you do have a cadaver lab for your anatomy and physiology classes in PA school, maybe definitely do not invest in very nice scrubs. Maybe just buy some scrubs from Walmart, right? Because they will stench that clothing. So that's another thing that I wanted to discuss. But in general, by far, the ones that I really recommend, it's going to be Figs and JANU. Those are my favorite ones. And like I said, I like these because they just look really good. They look very professional, and they have so many colors. And then on top of that, you don't have to iron them, which is one of the big ones for me, because in PA school, you're just so tired, and having to wake up every day to iron them, no. And then always, you want to make sure that you look good during your clinical rotations, because it's going to tell the patients and your doctor a lot about you, but also about the program that you're representing. And then of course, your profession as a physician assistant. All right, guys, so I hope this video was helpful. As always, if you have any questions for me or comments, make sure you comment below, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.